Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and Bethesda has had an eventful first 10 days to start off the new year. As all of us are aware, Bethesda had a travesty of a 2019, and we all are hoping together that that does not repeat here in 2020, and I'm sure Bethesda shares that sentiment. So what we're doing in today's video is taking a look at all Bethesda's accomplished so far in 2020, and then speculating on what we can expect in the future from this company. We're going to try to answer some looming questions. A major one is, will Bethesda attend E3 2020? Now this may seem like a given since they've been at every single E3 since 2015, but we have to look at the facts here. Last year, it was very clear that Bethesda had absolutely nothing to show for E3. They showed off mobile games, cinematic trailers, and really nothing of true substance. And they received exactly the type of feedback that you would expect from a show like that. Combine that with also next gen on the horizon, which can take a lot of the attention away from your show, and you have to wonder if it's a wise business expense to invest in E3 this coming year. Rumors have already started to circulate, although they are unconfirmed, that Sony may not be attending. Now, what does this all have to do with Bethesda? Well, they have a pretty significant announcement coming quite soon for Elder Scrolls Online. And as we all know, Elder Scrolls Online is a mainstay at every single Bethesda E3. They always announce a new chapter for the fall or something ESO related every single time at E3. It's like clockwork. Really, ESO runs on an E3 based schedule. And Bethesda's throwing together what they're calling a global reveal event for Elder Scrolls Online. They're saying that the next big Elder Scrolls adventure is right around the corner and that we can watch and learn on Thursday, January 16th. So for those of you who are interested in ESO, know that it's quite soon. What is important and fair to note is that Bethesda did do a similar reveal event at the beginning of last year as well, with the Season of the Dragon approaching. Bethesda did have a big announcement to start off the year, roughly around the same exact time. So ESO is like clockwork, and I don't think this eliminates it from E3, but there's a difference in the wording because they're calling this a global reveal event, the next big adventure. So it sounds a little bit more significant, but I could be looking too much into the wording of what's happening here. More notably is Bethesda is now stating that starting January 17th, we can hop in on the PTS, aka private test server, which is available only on PC, and start playing Wastelanders. Now it's only going to be a select number of players. I don't even know if I will personally get in as a content creator, but the goal of this, according to Bethesda, is to get in there, hunt down some bugs, and squash them out. The opt-in period ends at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 14th, so we only have a number of days to get in there. Do keep in mind you have to sign an NDA, which means you cannot disclose what you play. So in the terms of me, like I said, being a content creator, I don't know how beneficial it is for me to get in there and play the game when it's closed down here, because I can't even make content about it. You just have to share feedback directly with Bethesda. Furthermore, Bethesda is planning to release a patch on January 14th as what they would call prep work for Fallout 76's Wastelanders. They say it's necessary to do this before the initial launch, and it's not going to contain any gameplay augmentations. So whatever this is going to alter the entire framework of Fallout 76, which, you know, obviously makes sense because it's going to be probably the biggest update that's hit the game so far. What can also fight against my points is actually another job listing, once again at Rockville, Maryland. They are looking for an events assistant. Yes, someone to put together events. Now, when I first saw this job listing, I thought it was for the events that I've personally attended and other YouTubers do attend, you know, the ones where we get to play a game ahead of launch and try some stuff out and then interview developers, those types of events. And I'm sure this position could qualify for that as well, but there's some significant points here that I believe point to a E3 conference. Assist with booking, team travel, creating travel manifests, and ensuring accuracy of hotel room blocks. So when you go to E3, this is pretty much a guarantee, or PAX. And then lastly is collaborate with brand, PR, video and design teams on event collateral and promotional material as needed requirements. Now, this job listing was up about a month ago. I believe it's still available. I found it through Google via LinkedIn. It was not directly on Bethesda's website, but still promotional materials, working with brands, PR, that all screams to me E3, and if they're hiring for that at the beginning of the year, then I imagine they are looking for some help to put together a showcase once again before E3 2020. So I think there's points on both sides. I think it's logical for Bethesda to not attend and do their own thing, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they end up putting together their own showcase. Now, like I said, Bethesda's been really busy to start off the new year. Knock on wood. They've been doing just fine. And in fact, they actually added a really cool update to the original Doom 1 and Doom 2. Yes, I had no idea you could even patch the game in the way that Bethesda's doing so, but there's new DLC, there's new updates for the game. So let's take a look at those because they're actually really awesome. The first one is 60 FPS support. For the first time, Doom 1 and Doom 2 now have native 60 FPS support on all platforms, up from the original game's 30 FPS. Enjoy that silky smooth frame rate and run circles around those barons. Really cool stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed the first original Doom. I've played that a good couple of times now, so that's kind of enticing to go back to, knowing that they've updated it in this way because there's more on top of this. Quick saves, something that needs to be in all these older games. We're adding the ultimate tool for any Marine practicing speedruns or surviving Doom's nightmare difficulty. Quick saves. While paused in Doom or Doom 2, simply press R, R1, RB to save your current position. Should you need to load up that spot again during play, just head back to the pause screen and press L, L1, LB. I know there's always been an argument about adding save states to older titles, especially there was this conversation about on Nintendo Online that you're not really good at games if you need save states. I think people forget that these games were intentionally difficult and limiting so that these games that were in the arcades originally could just absorb your quarters. Like, that's all they wanted to do there. Save states are a natural part of games, and they were not designed in a way that I think people believe they were intended to be. It's not some elite approach to not use save states. And I'm not even saying this for myself, but just in general. But there are also gameplay enhancements coming to the original Doom and Doom 2. They say that's not all. The re-releases of Doom 1 and Doom 2 have been decked out with an arsenal of new options and quality of life adjustments, including a quick weapon select feature, improved level select function, added aspect ratio and brightness options, a new split screen HUD, and more. And there's more details on their site for the full patch notes, but ladies and gentlemen, that is a pretty impressive update for a really old game. If only the original Knights of the Old Republic could get a cool update like this, I'd be thrilled. Lastly, I've got to give a tip of the cap because while I was doing research for this particular video, I saw that Wolfenstein Youngblood had an update in November, and I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting that they're still updating the game. I'm like, it's a shame that it's still not receiving any more support. And I was incorrect. Bethesda just released an update yesterday, as of the time of recording this video, that adds RTX and DLSS technology. Now, this may not be significant in the terms of gameplay ramifications, which, by the way, Bethesda has also done with new missions, challenges, difficulty augmentations, and so on, but they've done a really good job with staying updated on Wolfenstein Youngblood, despite, I don't think, as far as I'm aware, many people playing it, and I gotta tip my cap to that. Like I said, I don't think that game's good at all. The story still is awful. You can't patch that away. But I gotta say that when it comes to the gameplay, the changes they've made, and the way they've listened to feedback, that's pretty good for Bethesda. I gotta go ahead and give them credit where credit's due, because I think we need to encourage the good practices they do, and one of them is not giving up just because a game got slammed at release. Keep patching it, keep fixing it, keep working on it. Someone out there probably does like it, and so I hope that one or two people are enjoying this game. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of a wrap on everything that's happened so far in 2020, right? I thought it was kind of crazy that Bethesda has done so much across all their games already, and things are only going to get busier once we start hearing more about Wastelanders, which hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, will launch in February. So help me God if it launches in March, because they just added Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the original remake, into March, and I'm like, oh, I make time for that too, man. I grew up on that game. I love Mystery Dungeon arguably more than the main series, and now Bethesda could possibly add more to the mix in March. Please, ladies and gentlemen, there are other months out there. So I'm just crossing my fingers that Bethesda launches Wastelanders in February. We have Doom in March, and things will probably pick up from there, because by then we should know whether or not Bethesda is doing a E3 press conference, and then the speculation will ramp up and things will start to leak in May like always. So I'm really excited, man. This year is looking to be really fun for covering games, and I thank you guys for providing me with the opportunity to do so. So allow me to wrap it up here. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those are linked in the description down below. Big thank you to all of the patrons who continue to support me, allow me to record videos in the studio space like I'm doing right now. I'm sure you guys were able to tell with a difference in the audio quality as we continue to furnish out this area. Thank you guys once more, and I'll talk with all of you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.